once again time for us to talk about some of our favorite character actors.
Yes! One of my favorites is John Carroll Lynch. He's a big, hulking actor from Minnesota. He's best known for playing Marge Gunderson's husband in Fargo.
Oh, yeah.
I had the pleasure of seeing him on stage back when I was in college at the Guthrie Theater, just playing a small part in Marasad. And he didn't even have a line of dialogue, and I remembered that guy.
One of my favorites is a Welcome to the Basement alumnus, Oliver Platt.
Ah.
I like his style, I like what he brings to a role, and I see a little bit of myself in him.
Diane Wiest. She seemed... That's your Diane Wiest impersonation. She gets roles that most actresses can play, the mother, the wife, and stuff like that, but she brings such depth to it. There's something more human about her than almost every other actress.
One of my favorite character actors is from the older days of Hollywood, and he has passed on, but he can bring a weirdness and a nervousness to any scene he appears in, and that is Elisha Cook Jr., a man who is a walking, talking, nervous tick.
That guy, whenever he shows up in a movie, I just want to push him over.
Okay, character actors. How do we wrap this up?
There's no possible way to wrap this up.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. Well, by the time this episode is released, we will have had our big presidential election. We'll have a brand new president. Back here in the past, we're still biting our nails a little bit, but I'm sure it's all going to work out. So this oncoming election has made me ponder what movie to watch for this episode. A movie about an election? Or a president? Maybe. A movie starring a president? You're getting warmer. A movie starring a president and a monkey? Sign me up! So get out your pillows and your blankets because it's bedtime for Bonzo.
Oh.
Don't punch that movie.
I'm sorry. It's what I do when I see certain faces. And I'm not saying whose. I don't want to cause a ruckus on the internet.
Released in 1951, starring Diane Lynn, future U.S. President Ronald Reagan, and Peggy the Chimp, Bedtime for Bonzo is a movie. It was also a very convenient fodder for making jokes about the Reagan administration all throughout the 80s, particularly by late-night talk show host Johnny Carson. The producer of The Tonight Show from 1970 to 1992, Frederick de Cordova, was the director of this film. You okay?
The palsy.
Mr. Reagan turned down the opportunity to star in the sequel, Bonzo Goes to College, because he thought the premise was silly.
It's this type of decision-making that made him the leader that we had in the 80s.
Sadly, Peggy the Chimp also did not star in the sequel because she died in a zoo fire just 2 weeks after this premiere. And for you armchair primatologists out there, I would just like to say that I know that Bonzo is a chimpanzee, and chimpanzees are not monkeys, but I will continue to call him a monkey because the word monkey is funny. Any comedian will tell you. Here we are post-election, but I don't know who won. Maybe the candidate you voted for won, and you'd like to celebrate by making a lot of noise. Or maybe the candidate you didn't vote for won, and you'd like to vent your anger by making a lot of noise. And since Halloween is recently in the past, a Halloween-themed gift would not be inappropriate. What I'm saying, Craig, is that sometimes your gifts are cool, and sometimes they've been sitting around for a couple of years, and I bought them for a Halloween show in the past and ended up not using it, and I just kind of really want to get rid of it. So here's your gift.
I can't say how excited I am about this. Wouldn't be polite. Oh, it's a noisemaker.
Huh?
Yes.
Pretty good after all.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. You really got my hopes down for it.
Well, put on your PJs, turn off all the lights, and come tuck yourself in with us on the old leather couch as we watch the positively simian Bedtime for Bonzo. Police cars and fire engines race towards Sheridan College.
Yeah, there's someone about to jump off a ledge at the old science building.
Don't do this terrible thing.
Is that Reagan?
You're young.
It's Bonzo, a chimpanzee.
Who would have thunk? It was a monk. Who would have thunky? It's a monkey. I'll give you that one for free.
Give me all of them for free. Psychiatrist Peter Boyd comes to the rescue.
Go ahead, Bonzo. I want you to jump.
Jump, you son of a bitch! Does the fire department still use that trampoline? Is that still a thing?
There's only one way to find out.
To the roof!
Maybe he'll respond to the Gestalt theory.
I mean Gestalt tactics. That's not right. Please don't encourage him with applause. Someday he'll run for president because of that.
Come on up, Bonzo.
Pull down his pants, Bonzo. Make the humiliation complete. And with some difficulty, gets Bonzo to come back into the lab. Later on in the dean's office, there's this guy named Breckenridge. He informs the dean that Peter's dad spent his life in prison.
Yeah, that's right, Silky Boyd.
And he had the tobacco and the candy bar concession right in his pocket. No fuss, no muss, just angles.
No fuss, no muss, no spills. You're
Tired of kitchen drudgery, everything must go. The dean doesn't like this at all because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
And I don't want you to marry my daughter, Valerie. You should break off the engagement.
I think I know Valerie's good points.
She's got 2 good points right up front. I won't be a criminal because criminal traits are not hereditary. The dean says, yes, they are.
Valerie, Peter's betrothed, says, don't worry, this is all past soon.
Valerie, I'm not made of sawdust.
I'm made out of chicken wire and paper mache, but no sawdust.
I'm gonna make that old man change his attitude if it takes till I'm 90.
I'll get back at that old man. I'll defund Medicare. Bonzo won't eat. He's depressed.
You tried bananas?
Bananas, persimmons, coconuts.
Have you considered putting into some sort of bellhop outfit?
Peter gets a baby bottle and he sweet talks Bonzo. Peter has a revelation.
This animal just got here from Africa. It doesn't want to be in a cage. It wants to be someplace more jungle-like a suburban home. If I nurture him right, he'll become like a good human boy. Yeah, you gotta watch out. This is how Planet of the Apes started. James Franco takes the monkey home.
And this will also prove to the dean that I'm not going to end up a criminal like my dad.
Sounds like a great plan, but 2 days later, it's insane in the house. Feathers are everywhere.
Bonzo is literally going apeshit. Oh, he's going off the top rope. How is the referee allowing this?
Peter can't handle this whole bundle of fur by himself. He needs some female assistance.
He decides to hire a nanny. He meets with one of the candidates, Jane Linden.
I thought all professors were old men with Van Dyke beards.
Well,
Well...
I'm sorry I got here so late, but I took the wrong bus. I don't know why, but I always seem to be taking wrong buses.
It's because I'm stupid. Jane says, I just love children. I raised all my 5 brothers, and I can't wait to meet the little tyke.
he's a monkey.
They all are.
A real monkey.
You should have seen my brother Gus. Now, that was the ugliest little monkey.
We never let him out of the attic. She goes into Bonzo's room. You better run, lady. He can smell you menstruating. It drives him crazy.
Turns out it's a monkey.
Bonzo starts crying and making baby noises, and she says, oh, well, I'll go comfort him.
Hey, he seems to like you.
Oh, he's just like that J. Fred Muggs on the Today Show. That's a reference that's so old, even I don't get it.
You won't be afraid.
No.
You will be. You will be. She can't resist that little face, and she takes the job.
Good heavens, what's that?
Swedish pancake.
Swedish pancake. Yesterday a Dutch pancake. Every morning something different for breakfast.
It's like this house is an international pancake place.
Bonzo continues to misbehave.
That's outright bribery. Bonzo!
Professor Boyd. Don't scold him. He didn't mean it.
I'm establishing dominance so I can get the woman. And Jane comes up with an idea. If he thinks we're Mama and Papa, then maybe he'll start acting like a child because he's in a stable home environment.
Papa?
Papa?
I like it when you call me Big Papa. Put your hands in the air if you're a true player.
Papa. Mama. Papa. Mama.
Papa la mama la, papa la mama la, papa la mama la, papa la mama la.
Mom always served us kids first.
And she would serve Gus last because he ate out of a bucket in the attic. And they pretend to be husband and wife, including kissing.
This calms Bonzo down.
Over dinner, Peter tells Valerie just what he's up to.
Peter, I have a confession to make.
I'm a monkey.
I'm sure Papa has a good reason for not coming home or even calling.
Maybe he's doing some nefarious dealings with Iranians, selling them arms.
He was too upset to sleep, so he came running in here.
Well, what upset him?
The first time Papa didn't come home.
I like it when you call me Big Papa. I only smoke blunts when they rolled Papa.
What are you doing?
Jane continues to nurture and teach Bonzo.
Please, Bonzo, put the beads back. Oh, that's a good boy.
Very good. Now it puts the lotion in the basket or it gets the hose again. Bonzo has an accident with the vacuum cleaner and he does escape. He gets stuck up a tree. Pretty soon Jane's stuck up in the tree.
Bonzo!
Who's the Bonzo now?
He goes in the house.
Bonzo finally start on novel.
He makes a phone call.
There's a misunderstanding with the operator.
It sounds as if they're suffocating. I'll call the police.
Peter comes home. What are you doing up there? I'll come up and save you. Where's Bonzo? Oh, Bonzo's running around. He has glasses on. Everything's crazy with that kid.
They finally get everyone out of the tree. Peter says, it was a monkey, you see? A monkey did it. And the cops are like, okay, whatever, buddy. Valerie shows up, and she hears Jane and Peter doing all this mama-papa talk.
I'm breaking up with you because I thought something different than as things were.
Peter's having second thoughts about this whole thing, and he thinks he might send Bonzo back to the lab. Bonzo overhears because he understands every nuance of human speech, and he leaves. They go out driving around looking for Bonzo, and they find him.
I sometimes get breakfast and eat the breakfast outside this jewelry store.
We see some home movies about the progress that Bonzo's making during the experiment. He's becoming more and more like a little man.
Hello.
That's just Jane locking the starting button so we can be in the picture together.
Jane taking pictures of her magnificent rack.
I hid in the closet with a camera to get this.
That night I also hid in Jane's closet to get some movies that I'm not going to show you.
I wanted to see if he'd know if he was doing something wrong.
You're a real Fred de Cordova.
I think you could give a demonstration for the dean right now.
He'll see a demonstration when I appear before the Psychological Society next month.
Nude. Dr. Norman meets with the dean.
Good news for you. Sit down.
I want you to kill Peter Boyd.
How's that little chimpanzee of ours getting along, Doctor?
The little pansy? I don't know who you're talking about. It's not me. Bonzo has been sold to the Yale Medical Experiment Department.
That's not good.
Bonzo has a little birthday party.
Come on, Bonzo, make your wish come true. Blow out the candles.
Blow out your candles, Bonzo. For now, the world is lit by lightning.
You're supposed to eat your cake, not wear it.
As Marie Antoinette famously said, let them wear cake. Peter is talking about how after the experiment is over, he'll send Bonzo away, and Jane will be okay with it because she's not really attached to him, and Peter's not really attached to Jane.
Jane hears this, does not take it well.
I'm leaving. She's a little smitten with Peter, if you haven't figured that out yet. Thinking that he's Peter, Jane accidentally yells at Bonzo and makes him sad, and he goes off to find a new mama and papa. He goes to a jewelry store and he sees a string of jewels. That reminds him of the beads that Jane wears that he likes to play with.
Is this going to become a heist movie? That's what I want.
Bonzo's 11. So he infiltrates the store and steals the jewelry. Peter is driving around and he finds Bonzo. He also finds the stolen necklace. Come on, Bonzo, let's go to the Rue Morgue. I have some things I'd like you to do there.
Jane is gone.
What do you mean, gone?
Gone. Disappeared.
She went into a wormhole.
Jane says she's done with Sergio. He treats me like a rag doll.
Peter has the necklace and he tries to get into the building, but a cop stops him and he is arrested. Looks like maybe Peter is going to be proven to have criminal tendencies after all. He is interrogated by the police and he tells them the monkey story. And these are the same cops that heard him talk crazy about monkeys before.
You say it was a monkey that took the necklace.
I am afraid I don't recall that.
A monkey that wasn't there.
I don't recall at this time.
Where was the monkey if he wasn't there?
Well, there you go again, detective.
I got a fence, comes right to the job, says Fagan. His moniker is the professor. Pays off plenty peanuts. He don't ask no questions.
The speech is so weird. Is he reciting the last words of Dutch Schultz?
The delivery men are here, sir. They've come for the chimpanzee.
Well, Peter may not be perfect, and I want to help him because I'm a dope, too.
You're no dope, Jane.
You're a world-class ding-dong. Finally, Bonzo is brought to the police station.
What if we give the necklace back to Bonzo and say, be a good boy, put it back?
Bonzo is sent off with the valuable necklace. Meanwhile, at the Soup Tureen Emporium,
they go on a big stakeout in the middle of the night at the jewelry store. There's all the cops.
And they wait for the monkey to appear. They're just about to give up when they hear a little bit of chatter in the vent.
It's Bonzo. Climbs down, puts the necklace back. Case closed. And it turns out monkeys can be taught ethics to a degree. All the charges are dropped.
Later on at the dean's office, he's found out the whole deal about the experiment, and he says, it's great. We're going to keep Bonzo after all.
You're holding up a honeymoon. Peter?
Oh no, what about Jane? We were hoping that she would get together with Peter. But it turns out she did.
Kissing while driving, never the best idea.
Bedtime for Bonzo. It's time for us to wake up and talk about it. I found this movie to be not as cheap or trivial as I thought it was going to be.
I'll give you that.
And I found it to be funnier than I thought it was going to be.
It had its moments.
It had some nice laughs.
Most of them based around the monkey.
And the whole nature versus nurture idea, probably in 1951, was a pretty profound concept.
They were still arguing over that. I guess we still are arguing over it. But most people now wouldn't think that just because your absentee father was a criminal wouldn't make you a criminal.
A lot of finer points of this are very exaggerated and generalized, you know, to an unrealistic degree. The fact that Bonzo really understands human speech.
If he hears something he doesn't like, he will flee.
There's some really nice photography in this. Some of those tracking shots where the camera would follow the seemingly random movements of this chimpanzee. The cinematographer deserves a pat on the back.
Like when the vacuum cleaner explodes on him. The camera just had to be ready to follow it, whatever it did.
And that camera is always on him.
Mm-hmm.
This movie has a very similar plot to another movie we watched this season, and that would be Splice.
Yes. They raise a non-human as their own child.
Yeah. I guess that's where the similarities end.
Neither of them have sex with Bonzo, which is good. No one is killed.
Yeah.
Not even the dean, who had it coming.
What are the merits of Ronald Reagan, the actor?
He seems to hit his mark and say his lines loud enough that the camera can pick it up.
He's not that great.
No,
he's
not.
very wooden.
Mm-hmm.
When he's required to do comedy, he overdoes it a little bit.
Yeah.
He was always considered like a B-list actor, wasn't he?
Uh-huh.
He eventually became president of SAG, and then he became governor of California. It seems like his political gifts probably helped him in his acting career more than his acting skills.
I think his acting skills helped him as a president. You know, he was a great speaker, the great communicator, as they called him. Also, he didn't start out as an actor. He started out as a radio personality.
Okay.
Someone figured out that he had a voice and he was pretty enough, we may as well put him on film.
What about the two ladies?
Valerie was basically a straw fiancé, just to be torn down.
You can tell the first time she comes to his door.
Well, aren't you going to ask me in?
Oh, he's going to leave her for the governess. You can tell just by that little interaction.
I haven't seen this movie yet.
She's out of here.
Yep. Jane was odd.
There isn't anything I didn't learn about children from that.
She's got a weird voice.
She's not really opening her mouth all the way. Definitely cute, but she had that way of talking as though she had just been freshly Botoxed. Neither of them, I think, were really great actors, and I'm sorry that I'm just dwelling on their looks, but that's basically what they were there for.
Sure, sure.
If you had to choose, would you rather work with Bonzo or Beethoven?
I think I'd rather work with Bonzo because I've never been face-to-face with a chimp. Carry him around, dress him up in little outfits. I would enjoy that.
Yeah. There were things in the movie where they set something up just to use it once and it never came back again. The tuning fork. There was the old professor guy. He's in 2 scenes, and once his joke is done, he never comes back. Like in the 3rd act, he could have come back dead. That's the Bedtime for Bonzo I want to see.
Let's say that it's time to reboot Bedtime for Bonzo today. You're the director. What do you do to update it?
Well, Brandon Fraser, for starters. Also, take it out of the university setting. Maybe put it in Silicon Valley, outer space. I don't know.
But still a monkey?
Totally still a monkey.
And, of course, Bonzo will be played by Andy Serkis.
Final thoughts on Bedtime for Bonzo? Don't threaten me.
Well, that was Bedtime for Bonzo. If you want a bit of light entertainment, you should check it out.
The lightest.
Hey, you come out of that tree, climb through the window, put on some glasses, and go to our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. You can see all the episodes we've ever made, every one of them. And there's a PayPal donation button. You can donate a few dollars to support our show. Keep us in bananas.
Easy enough for a monkey to use.
You can make a one-time donation or a rolling monthly donation. Contribute a little bit each month, just like Kelsey, Abraham, Shelby, Aaron, and Kempson. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
If you want to see who the rest of our donors are and the exciting contents of our mailbag, you should watch Unboxing this coming Friday. Well, now it's time for Scene It. Darcy Mocasso writes, you guys should watch The Panic in Needle Park. It's Al Pacino's first film appearance, and he's absolutely magnetic in this role. It would be a great movie to show Craig to keep him off drugs. Seen it.
Seen it. And I'm off drugs.
This is Al Pacino's first lead role. He did a movie before this where he had a bit part. He definitely announces himself as a talent to be reckoned with.
He is doing stuff in this movie that I'd say better than Serpico and Dog Day Afternoon. He is just there. He lands running in this movie.
He acts so much with his eyes. He can say so much just with a look. And it's barely perceptible, but it speaks volumes.
Oh, I feel so bad. I can't remember the woman who plays his lover in this movie because she does nearly as well as he does. Because it would be very easy to just be lost standing next to him because he's so powerful. And she just steps up.
It's really a feast of acting, and it's something that, it's like an actor's movie.
And they're just weaving back and forth.
It's fascinating at the same time as it's very, very sad.
Yeah, don't be looking for a sunshiny ending on this one, though.
Yeah, and that's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
Because you know from the outset where these people are headed.
Heather Spielman writes, how about taking True Romance for a whirl? Tarantino writing paired with Tony Scott's over-the-top directorial antics. Seen it?
It's not a movie that I love, but it has some scenes that I love. The obvious one that pops to mind is the interrogation scene with Dennis Hopper. But also, I believe this is James Gandolfini's screen debut.
If it's not, it's very early on.
Yeah, and the scene that he does with Patricia Arquette is very brutal, but it's also so well done.
They do something with that scene where she's wearing those big glasses and she looks so cool, and then he makes her take off the glasses, and you can see that she's terrified.
If you want a weird and wild ride with, 100 different actors in it. So many people in this movie.
Bronson Pinchot!
Yeah. Check out True Romance. Grinix writes, my sick day movie is Castaway. Seen it.
Not seen it.
You haven't seen Castaway?
No. I've seen bits.
Are you going to see it?
I've seen the ending.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
This is Robert Zemeckis telling a good story, as he is wont to do. And Tom Hanks giving a really great performance, although the scene where he loses Wilson...
Wilson!
Yeah. I grew up with Tom Hanks only doing comedies, and he does that Tom Hanks scream in a lot of his early comedies. And so when he's calling it to Wilson, it's very heartbreaking, but at the same time, I can't help but think, oh, he sounds like he did in Bachelor Party. I really like, and it was very smart, when Helen Hunt gets the phone call that we found your husband, and all you see is just the phone dropping to the floor. That was the best way to do that. Because holding on this could be great or could not be great.
Yeah. When Hanks picks up the lighter at the end of the movie, and it's as easy as that.
Oh, yeah.
Olivia Rose writes, have you two lovely blokes watched the film 99 Homes with your acting crush, Michael Shannon? And she spelled it with 4 A's. Seen it.
Seen it. I will tell you that I don't like that Andrew Garfield.
You don't?
I don't like his face. He's got a weird face. Every time I look at his face, I'm like, ugh. He's not unattractive.
No, he's the opposite of that.
I don't know. But in this movie, he was pretty good.
Considering the fact that he's pretty English, and he was doing a pretty solid Florida accent, like North Florida accent. I found the movie, like Panic in Needle Park, almost unbearable because it's only going to be a downward spiral. It's like watching the opening reel of Grapes of Wrath over and over and over again.
Well, on that note, that's Seen It.
And that's our show.
We watched Bedtime for Bonzo. Who knows? It might be Bedtime for America. I don't know how the election went. But we hope you enjoyed yourselves, and we hope you'll join us next time for our next episode.
Hey, what's going on in our next episode, Matt?
This pesky election has really eaten into what normally is Glaring Omissions Month. But we still have time for a glaring omission, and that's the fact that I still have got these genre cards sitting on my desk, all the way back from Season 2.
Yeah.
I'll just pick one of these and have you open it.
Espionage.
Our next movie is going to be an espionage movie, and just so you know I'm not messing around, it will be a James Bond film.
Ah, finally!
It's a glaring omission.
That's 2 glaring omissions in one.
We will see you then. Good night.
Good night.
What are little boys made of?
Their DNA is very similar to ours.
That's what little boys are made.
I forget the rest of that song.